Right. So now let's go to the first service, that is World Wide Web. So this is the very most popular service which is provided by internet, right? I think the internet was introduced in 1970s. Though it was introduced in 1970s, it became more popular among the people after 1990s. That means after the introduction of World Wide Web. So because of that, I'm saying World Wide Web is the most popular and important service which is provided by internet. Now let's see what is World Wide Web. So let's go through this definition. Large collection of electronic documents served in a computers all around the world which are connected to the internet. So that is the World Wide Web. So in simple words, as I said in my earlier classes, there are thousands of web servers are there around the world. In those web servers, right, so many pages, web pages and websites are served in those web servers. Not only web pages, videos, images, animations, and so many different materials are stored in those web servers, right? These things or these pages are connected between each other. That means you can, if you visit one page in the World Wide Web, through the hyperlinks, you would be able to access other pages. So all the pages are connected between one and another. So these collection of materials are called as World Wide Web. Right? So have you got my idea? What is the World Wide Web? Right? I'd like to ask you a question. Anybody, can you say me what is the World Wide Web? Please raise your hands. Right, Tusi has raised the hands, right, very good. Right. Tusi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Right, what is the World Wide Web?
Large collection of electronic documents served in computers all around the world.
Right, very good. Right, now give a chance to Shamila. Udayankani, can you say me? Udayankani, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
What's the answer?
Large collection of the electronic documents saved in the computer.
In web servers, no?
Yes, sir.
In computers. Okay, very good. So both answers are correct. So once again, I'm saying what is the World Wide Web? So millions of electronic documents. What is the electronic documents? Web pages, videos, images, cartoons, all these are called electronic documents. So the collection of all these documents can be defined as World Wide Web. Okay, right. So in other words, all the websites, right? You are viewing on so many different websites. It might be a www.moi.lk or donext.lk or bbc.com, tamilwin.com. So all these websites belongs to World Wide Web. Okay, right. Now let's go to the next slide. So there is another question. Who is the founder of this World Wide Web? So the World Wide Web is a very useful and interesting concept. So it totally transferred the world, the way of communication, right? So who is the founder of World Wide Web? Anybody knows the answer? Anybody, do you know the answer? Right. Right. Now here I would like to give the chance to Praveen. Hello, Praveen. Who is the founder? Right, good. Very good, right. So the correct answer is Tim Berners-Lee. right? He is the Tim Berners-Lee. He is the person who invented or he introduced the World Wide Web to the world, right? He did this thing, or he introduced the World Wide Web in 1989. Okay, the interesting fact is now also at the moment also he is surviving or he is living. So he is conducting or he is organizing a non-profitable organization. The name of that organization is W3 Consortium. So that is the organization which is working towards the development of World Wide Web. So Tim Berners-Lee is the leader of that institution. Okay, so only thing you have to keep in your mind, who is the founder of World Wide Web? Tim Berners-Lee. In which year? 1989. Right now, let's see what is the web browser. So all of you know you are using web browser. You have an idea about web browser, but you should be able to define the word web browser. It's very simple. Web browser means if you want to enter the World Wide Web, or if you want to see the World Wide Web, you need an application software. That is web browser. Okay. Without web browser, you would be unable to visit World Wide Web. So to see the web, to see the World Wide Web, we are using web browsers. Right? Let's see the definition. Web browser is an application software. So keep in your mind, it is an application software like WhatsApp, Viber, and Word, Excel, PowerPoint, like that. Web browser is also an application software you can install in your computer or your mobile device. Why? For what purpose? For accessing information on the World Wide Web. So web browser is an application software which is used to access information on the World Wide Web. Right, now let's see, there are so many web browsers are available at the moment, but some web browsers are more popular among the common people. Let's see one by one. Right, so these are the most popular web browser at the moment. So look at these pictures. I think everybody, you are familiar to these things. In your laptops or in your mobiles, you have these browsers. Let's see one by one. I think, can you see I'm indicating this Internet Explorer. This is the Internet Explorer. In 1990s, it was the most popular web browser in the world in 1990s. Okay, at the beginning of the World Wide Web. So the Internet Explorer was developed by Microsoft company, and it was delivered to customers freely with the operating system Windows. That means if you buy an operating system Windows OS, then you will get a free copy of Internet Explorer, right? Later, after the 2000s or in the early 2000s, the Mozilla Firefox, so this is the Mozilla Firefox, was most leading browser, web browser, right? Later, nowadays, at the moment, the leading browser is Google Chrome. The Google Chrome is developed and delivered to the customers by Google Inc., that is Google International Corporation. So that is the now most leading browser, right? So, and also I think you know about the Safari. Safari is a web browser which was developed by Apple company for their devices such as iPad, iPhone, MacBook, Mac PC. So in those devices, you can see this web browser Safari, right? This is specially designed for Apple devices, right? So that is called a Safari, right? This is Microsoft Edge. I think before 3 or 4 years ago, the Microsoft, they introduced the Microsoft Edge, right? Earlier, at the same time, already they are having my Internet Explorer. In addition to Internet Explorer, now they have introduced Microsoft Edge with so many new features and facilities. Okay, right. So this is another one of the popular browser that is called as Opera. Okay, so there is one more version, is the Opera Mini, that is designed for mobile devices. So these are the examples for web browsers. Once again, what are they? Opera, Google Chrome, Safari, Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge. Right. Now let's come to the point. When we are talking about the World Wide Web, we have to get an idea about what is a website. Right? What is a website? Let's see the definition. So a website is a collection of web pages and related content that is identified by a common domain name. So a website is a collection of web pages related to a single topic or a single content. So they are identified by a common domain name that is called as website. Right? So if you go to, for an example, if you go to the Education Publication Department website, EduPub website, there are so many pages are there. All pages are related with school textbooks, right? So they are connected with a single topic. And all those pages are identified by a common domain name. What is that common domain name? www.edupub.gov.lk. That is the domain name, which is used to identify all those pages. So that is a website. So once again, what is a website? Collection of web pages and related content. That means in a website, there might be videos and photos. So that is the related content. So collection of web pages and related content that is identified by a common domain name. That is a website. Okay. Now let's see what is a home page. So if you're going to talk about website, we have to get an idea about home page also. Home page means home page contains the basic information about the website. So if you visit a website, for an example, if you visit a website, first of all, you would be directed to the home page. So what is the home page? All the important details about that website is available or delivered in the home page, right? So if you buy a newspaper, in a newspaper, so the first page, all the important news would be included in the first page. The name of the newspaper, on which date the newspaper was printed, all the details are there in the first page. So the same idea, the same concept can be applied in a website. How important is the first page for a newspaper? Like that, the home pages is very important for a website. So it is the first page, all the important details would be included in the home page, right? All other pages of the website can be accessed through the hyperlinks included in it, right? All the other pages in that website would be connected to the home page. There would be hyperlinks to other pages in the home page. So if you go to the home page, from that home page, you would be able to visit all other pages. So that is home page, right? That's okay. Here we are going to talk about, so earlier we talked about the World Wide Web. So that is the one of the first or important service of internet. Here we are going to talk about the second service of internet. So here we are going to talk about another service of internet. What is that? File transfer protocol. But the problem is most of you would be unfamiliar with this service. All of you are very familiar with World Wide Web, but you are unfamiliar, I think. There is no chances for you to use this file transfer protocol, right? Now here we will talk about what is file transfer protocol. FTP is used to transfer large files of one computer in the internet to another computer, right? So the major purpose of file transfer protocol is transferring files from one computer to another computer. So nowadays you are using Viber, WhatsApp, email to transfer files such as videos, photos. But the problem is, using these services, you would be able to transfer small size files only. Okay. If you want to transfer or send a large file to another computer, the better option is file transfer protocol or file transfer service, right? Look at this example. Normally, this protocol is functioning in a client server model. Here in this example, this is the client computer. This is a server computer. So if you want to transfer files between these computers, first of all, you have to log into the server, or you have to connect it to the server using a suitable username and password. Then from that server, you can download any files you need, okay, using this FTP service. And also at the same time, you would be able to upload any files to the server using this file transfer protocol. So have you got my idea? So the important fact you have to remember about this service is FTP is used to transfer big or large size files, or even small size files also can be transferred. So simply FTP is used to transfer files from one computer to another computer. That's enough. Okay, right. Now let's go to the next service. The next service is remote access. So this is also one of the interesting service, right? Now let's see what is that. Controlling and operating a computer in the internet remotely. So in simple words, how can I tell you? So one of my uncle, he is living in abroad, right? In a foreign country, but he is not very much good in computer. He doesn't know very much about computers. So he needs my help, right? If there is any problem in the computer, he needs my help to sort out them. But the problem is, geographically, both of us are separated. He is living in UK, for an example. I am living in Sri Lanka. Then how can I help him? So if we need a software to be installed, he doesn't know how to install that. So I have to help him. How can I do that? So for that, I can use this remote access, right? So the very interesting fact is, you also can try that simply using this Zoom software. Now I'm using a Zoom software for teach you. The same software can be used to do the remote access, right? You just click your Zoom software. There is an option, screen sharing. Okay, have you seen that? There is an option, screen sharing. Using that, right, from Sri Lanka, I can access my uncle's computer in UK, right? Like my computer. I can use his computer, right? And whatever the softwares he need, I can install on that. If there is any issues, software troubles, I can troubleshoot. I can sort out that through this remote access facility, right? So another famous remote access software is, I think, TeamViewer. TeamViewer is one of the popular screen sharing software. Like that, you can use Zoom also. So have you got my idea? Look at this picture. So don't think too much about this picture. I have given this picture to get an idea about remote access. So you would be able to access another computer, a remote computer, from your computer. Okay, that is called as remote access. Right. Now let's see for what purposes we are using remote access. Right. There are two important purposes. The users are there through remote access. The first one is installing software of server computers to client computers. So if I connected to my uncle's computer to UK, in that scenario, my laptop is going to be a server. My uncle's computer is going to be a client. Why? I am delivering services through my computer to my uncle's computer. So my computer is a server, my uncle's computer is a client. So what we can do? I can install softwares. I can install softwares from my computer to my uncle's computer. That is a client computer. So that is a one purpose. Second purpose is fixing problems on client computers. For an example, if my uncle's speaker is not working, so he is complaining, my speaker is not working. So I can sort out that problem from my computer, right? I can sort out that problem in his laptop from my laptop. So that is called as fixing problem on client computers. Okay, so these are the two main uses of remote access. Right, I would like to ask you a question. I want to check whether you are active or you are sleeping. I don't know whether you are listening to me. So my question is, what are the main uses of remote access? Right, now I'm going to ask a question, right? So I would like to ask you questions from Sanchudan, right? Sanchudan, can you hear me? Right, there are some people are raising their hands. Right now, let's give a chance for Radhusan. Radhusan, what is the purpose of remote access? You can say only one, eh?
Installing software to client computers.
Right, very good. Right. Now let's give a chance to Praveen. Praveen, can you say me?
Yes, sir. Fixing problems computers.
I couldn't hear you. Can you say louder?
Okay, sir. Fixing problems on client computers.
Right, very good. Right, right. Both have said 2 points. Both are correct. Right. What are the purposes? The first one is to installing softwares into the client computer. That is one purpose. Second purpose is if there are any troubles or any issues in the computer, in the client's computers, it can be sorted out or it can be solved. That is another purpose. These are the uses of remote access. Right, now let's go to the next concept, file sharing. This is also another services of internet, file sharing. When you check exam results online, thousands of users can be connected to a website, right? So please listen to me very carefully. This concept is little bit of sneaky, so listen to me carefully. File sharing means after the O-level results is released in the donets.lk server or in the Department of Examinations, how many databases would be there? Right, there would be only one database, or in other words, there would be only one file with all the results. That means all of your results would be served in a single database or a single file. But how many people would be able to see that file at a time? That's my questions, right? Around throughout the island, more than thousands of people, that means more than 100,000 of people can see that single file at a time. That means all of you can see your results at a time or in a single day through internet or through your donets.lk website. But how many files are there in the server? How many database are there in that web server? There is going to be only one file. But how many people are able to see the file? All of you can see the file. That is called as file sharing. So that is also one of the services of internet. Or in other words, in my group, in my O-level group, there are 35 or 40 people are there. Right? If I want to share a presentation, I'm going to put a single file, or I'm going to post a single presentation in my WhatsApp group. How many people would be able to download it or see the presentation? All the 35 people or 35 members can download that file. Can you understand that concept? There is only one file I have shared, but all the members in the group can download or share it. That is file sharing. That is file sharing. Don't confuse this file sharing with file transfer. File transfer means sending a file from one computer to another computer. That means I'm going to send a file to my friend. That is file sending or file transferring. File sharing means one file can be used or can be downloaded by so many people. That is file sharing. That is also one of the service which is delivered by internet, right? Now I think with this I would like to wind up my session because I have only 3 more minutes. So let's go to the summary. I have 2 more concepts today I have planned. Because of the time, I would like to go to the summary. Yeah? Right, now let's see. Today I'm going to wind up the lesson. What did we study today, or what did we discuss today? Services of internet. Internet is delivering so many services to the common people, right? What are those services, right? The first one is World Wide Web. So what is the World Wide Web? A large collection of electronic documents which are available in the internet. That is World Wide Web. Then we talked about the web browsers. What is a web browser? Web browser is an application software, or it is a software which is used to access the World Wide Web. So web browser is a software which is used to see the World Wide Web. Without web browser, we can't see the World Wide Web. Then we talked about the websites, a collection of web pages and content, right, which are identified by a common single domain name. Collection of web pages which are identified by a common domain name. That is a website. Then we talked about a home page. Home page is the first page of a website. If you enter a website in your browser, you would be directed to the home page of that website. In the home page, all the details of the website would be there, and there would be hyperlinks to other pages of that websites. Then we talked about the file transfer protocol, FTP. This is used to file transfer protocol is used to transfer large size files from one computer to another computer. That is the service of file transfer protocol. Then we talked about the remote access. What is the remote access? We can access a remote computer which is located geographically in another area or in a remote area. It can be accessed through our client computer. That is remote access. What are the purposes of remote access? Using remote access, you can troubleshoot a remote computer, and also you can install any softwares in a remote computer. What is the example? TeamViewer, even the Zoom apps also can be used as a remote access, for remote access. Then we talked about the file sharing. What is a file sharing? A single file can be accessed by so many people. That is called as file sharing, right? So these are the things today we have discussed, right? In the next class, we will talk about the rest of the services which I haven't covered today, okay? And also I had some questions to ask you, but unfortunately the time is going to be finished. So these are the things today we have covered, right? I would meet you in your next class. Okay, thank you very much. So if you have any doubts or any issues, please forward those doubts